I think everybody can see my that PDF file, correct? Please, anyone reply? Can.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 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 okay. I think these notes I have already circulated, but I did little bit modification. So I've written here that lecture 2 revised. Okay, what I did, what I modified, because we have already discussed Venturi meter, orifice meter, and the flow meter. We are not looking for that elbow meter, leave it. And we will talk about pitot pitot tube, how it determine the velocity, how it determine the pressure in a particular flowing medium. Okay, so we will see and we will get some knowledge about the pitot tube. First of all, here I have written that pitot tube is one of the most accurate device for velocity measurement. And in comparison to Venturi and the orifice, pitot tube give the better result. It works on the principle of that if the velocity of the flow at a point becomes zero. What does that mean? Velocity at zero, I will explain. The pressure there is increased due to conservation of kinetic energy into pressure. Means there is some kind of point, there is some kind of point where the velocity, it will become zero. Then how you will define that thing? We will check, and at that point you have to define the how much will be the pressure. Okay, now first of all we will check how we can design a pitot tube which will work on the principle that also. Now you can see, have a look. If the water is flowing from this direction to this direction, what you will do, you will apply some kind of tube here. This is the piezometric tube he has given. You can easily determine your how much will be the change in the height from middle point to up to which point it will fill water or any kind of fluid. You can easily define. This is called as static pressure because it is connected to the surface. You are assuming that here will be the flow very less. So this particular portion called as the static pressure. How much height it will define, how much height it will define. Now you can see up to this height you have got this much. If the change in the height, you can easily determine your pressure. Pressure, how? P equal to rho g h. Okay, now after determining, you have determined your property, that height, then how you can apply that pitot tube in the flowing medium, because you are talking about some kind of velocity of the flow at the point becomes zero. What does that mean? Here you have to insert one more tube, but at the middle of the pipe. Then what is the significance of putting here and at the middle of that pipe? This will give you the static pressure. How much is the change in the height? This will give you the static pressure, rho gh. But here you will get the dynamic plus static both. How? Because if the fluid will flow from this position to this position, when it will strike at that particular point, here velocity you are looking for what? Zero, become zero. At the pressure there increase due to conservation of kinetic energy, means how much velocity it strike, it particular produce in the change in your fluid. Means if the velocity will be very high, it at that particular point it will become stagnant, and your water level it will become, it will little bit higher as compared to this static point. What I am talking means, okay, what I am saying, this particular point give you the static pressure, this particular point, this height. And this particular height, because the fluid is flowing in very high velocity at the middle of the pipe, then what will happen? Up to this point, this is static pressure, but from here to here, it will give you the dynamic pressure. It is called as the dynamic, DYNAMIC, dynamic pressure. This pressure called as dynamic. From here to here, how much change increase from this position to in the upper direction due to the velocity that you are talking about. Velocity, it becomes somewhere zero. At this particular point, velocity is zero, and due to velocity zero, it get converted into the pressure. Now velocity zero, it get converted into the pressure. Now this phenomena generally applies Bernoulli's theorem, as we know, but you have to check how the velocity, how the height is get converted into the stagnant pressure. Let me write few things here. If you will make any kind of, this is static pressure, this much is your dynamic pressure, then whole, if you will add from here to here, it will call as stagnant pressure. You are looking for any kind of height or a stagnant pressure. That no, you see from this position to this position, it is already given. From here to here, this is called as stagnant pressure, this height, and this is called as the dynamic pressure due to the velocity, this term, and this term called as the static pressure. Now you have to derive the expression in such a way that you get the velocity, how much will be the velocity at the middle of the pipe, and which will define the change in your height. Then how you will approach? You have to apply Bernoulli theorem both point, at point P, at point F. As I already told that Bernoulli's theorem is very useful where the fluid is flowing. If you are designing any kind of reactor in your bioreactor, or you are using any kind of bioreactor, if you are looking for how the fluid it is flowing from one pipe to the another pipe, because you will flow liquid from one tank to the another tank. If this is your bioreactor and this is another bioreactor, you want to determine how much you are getting conversion and how much you are sending again into this tank. Then for that you have to define the how much will be the flow rate. If you are looking for the flow rate at the pipe, then you can easily apply such kind of apparatus. So how you will approach? You have to apply the Bernoulli theorem. For that, what you will do? Same thing, P naught W V square by 2G plus Z. Z we have assumed that these are in same height, means your experimental setup which is in same height, there is no deviation, which is you have placed your experimental setup in the ground level. Potential head zero. Now coming to the second point, here the velocity term is zero. Why? Because as I already told here, that velocity at this point, you are saying velocity becomes zero. Why velocity becomes zero? Because this velocity has been converted into the pressure, which is showing pressure here only. Very clear. Velocity here is zero, and which get converted to display some kind of pressure from this position. Means from this position to this position, the change which you can observe or you will see due to the because of velocity which you are assuming here zero, so it will show some kind of height. Now come to the next point. Then you have assumed the velocity is zero, then you are looking for this velocity. Then what you will do? You just rearrange or apply rho gh, you will get 2g. This one will be the change in the height. Change in the height means from this position, the change in height from this position to this position. This is your delta h. You are looking for delta H, how much is the change in height. It will give you the velocity when you will apply such kind of system in the flowing water. It will give you the velocity at the middle. You know the static pressure, you can easily determine how much will be the change in height. And you have also determined your velocity as well. So this is the formula. Now, how it is means how it is showing and how it is behaving, we have to check that thing also. Now before that, see the geometry and see the structure, how it look like. Now here, this is the flow direction. Fluid will flow from here, and this line which will give you the stagnant pressure. As I already told, stagnant pressure will be the sum of your stagnant pressure. This pressure, stagnant pressure, will be the sum of your static pressure plus your dynamic pressure. Okay, don't forget that formula, because how it is, how you have got this thing, as I already told, up to this height you are getting static pressure from here to here, and from here to here you will get the dynamic and static both from here to here. It will be that the height which is displaying here, it is depend on you. You can take from here, say, from here to here or here to here, both are equal. Generally people take here because here you are assuming the velocity at the throat at the nearby this place you are taking as 0. Similarly, now see how it is, it look like. Here velocity you are assuming it is 0. When fluid will flow from this position to this position, from here to here, it will show some kind of change in the manometer, which will show the stagnant pressure. If you are if you are looking for a static pressure, then what you will do, you have to apply one hole. Now you can see static hole means when this hole, through this hole, when the fluid will flow from this position to this position, it will show some kind of static pressure. So if you are looking for dynamic pressure means if you are looking for dynamic pressure, V square by 2G, then what you have to do, you have to subtract stagnant pressure minus static pressure, you will get the dynamic pressure. So if you get the dynamic pressure, you can easily determine your velocity, how much will be the velocity. Okay, same formula. If you will get the height, change in height, then V will be what it will be, V will be root over 2G delta H. This much will be the velocity when the fluid will flow from this position, and same formula you have already derived here. Okay, root over 2G delta H, change in height, static to dynamic pressure. And one more thing, I want to show one video for that pitot tube. Where is that video?
Do you know
have a look on this video, what it is talking about and what it is showing. Just have a look on this video very clearly. You will get to know. Now your fluid is flowing in a pipe. As I already told, how you will define your velocity and your pressure. Now fluid is flowing. What you have to do, he applied one hole which will show some kind of change in height. What it will give? It will give the static pressure, as I already told. When you will apply any kind of hole at the surface, it will give static pressure. As it is showing, it will give some kind of dynamic pressure. Have a look. This will show the dynamic pressure, and here you will get the static pressure. Now next, now as I already told that you are looking for velocity determination or pressure determination. What he did, he put somewhere else which will show the same static pressure. Now you have a look on whole video, then you will get some idea. You want to accommodate this thing. How you will apply? See. Now you can see this one is the change in the height, which is called the dynamic pressure. As I already told, this is the dynamic pressure, and this is your static pressure. Now, I already told when the fluid will enter into that point, it will show some kind of change. The video is also showing the same thing. There is some kind of change, and this change is little higher. That is static pressure, which is showing on the surface, but this is the dynamic and static both. The dynamic, which is coming from when the fluid is flowing into that pipe, and that static, which is already it is displaying here. Then if you will add from dynamic and static pressure, you will get the stagnant pressure. Now see. Okay, now see, this is called as stagnant pressure. It is the sum of your dynamic pressure and your static pressure.
Sum of static and dynamic.
Now you see what you are looking for. You already assume that velocity at this point is zero, but this point is zero, which is get converted into the change in the height. This point you are assuming velocity zero, which is showing the change in the height in terms of your dynamic pressure here also, here only. And you have to apply Bernoulli theorem at two positions, at this position and at this position, because here you are assuming your velocity is zero. Now see. Now you have to apply the Bernoulli theorem for this position and this position. Velocity he has taken v, and velocity here zero. Now have a look, here velocity is zero. Okay, because you are assuming that at this particular point the velocity will be zero, which is get converted into the kinetic energy, which is showing your dynamic pressure. Z, both he has taken zero. Now have a look, Z1, sorry, Z2 and velocity here at that particular point will be 0 and Z1 will be 0. Now have a look, P2 divided by rho g means your W plus V square 2g equal to P2 divided by rho g, and you have easily determined or defined your stagnant pressure, which is the sum of pressure at the point P1 at this particular point and the velocity head, how much is the change in height, means static pressure plus your dynamic pressure. Now see, it is saying P1 it is your static pressure, and rho V square by 2d it is your dynamic pressure, and stagnant pressure will be the sum of your pressure head, which is at static position, and your dynamic position. Now it is again displaying, showing that this is your static pressure from here to here. If you want to define the pressure, now why he is rearranging, because P2 he has taken as the stagnant pressure, means you are looking for such kind of pressure which will be the sum of the static pressure and the dynamic pressure. Then what he did, both are same, stagnant pressure equal to sum of dynamic and static pressure. I think you have got an idea how your Pitot tube works. Okay. Okay, have you got an idea? Fine in your Pitot tube. Now coming to the next part, and all these things we have discussed I will circulate this note again. Leave it. This is the revised version where I have added only pitot tube. I have added only one thing, pitot tube, because it is the continuous version of your Bernoulli's application. Because here we have mentioned there is the four type of the application of the Bernoulli's theorem, like a Venturi, orifice, and rotameter, and one pitot tube as well. Now, in your second unit, here it is showing head flow meter. In the head flow meter, now this flow meter, we have discussed about your Venturi. We have discussed about Venturi and your orifice, your that the pitot tube, and your rotameter in the variable area. Okay, let me give brief glimpse of flow measuring equipment. There is various kind of flow measuring equipments, but for your understanding, it is only generally categorized as the two type. One is the head flow meter, another one is variable area. Why I am saying I have to show one thing also. In rotameter, have a look. In the rotameter, when the fluid will flow from this position to this position, here you see the change. You are changing the flowing area. Okay, due to the change in the flow area, what will happen? It will show some kind of deviation and it will go up. Due to that going up, there will be the reading. You can easily determine how much is the change in the area. And here, in the case of Venturi orifice, you are applying a kind of constriction which define or determine your determine your velocity or the pressure. Okay, now the head flow meter type are the two types generally. One is the differential pressure and the variable area type. In the differential pressure, like orifice or Venturi, novel type pitot tube fall under first category, means differential pressure type. Change in pressure. Differential means change in pressure. In the case of Venturi, now have a look. Here will be the change in the pressure. Here will be the change in the pressure because orifice plate. Here also nozzle flow I will discuss, and pitot tube, as I already told, change in the pressure, because here you are getting the change in the pressure in terms of your dynamic head. Now these are the four type of differential pressure, while the rotameter is it is in the second category, like variable area. Okay, now these all four are head type element, means you are determining or you are defining in terms of how much will be the change in the head. If you know the height, how much is the change in the height, you can easily define your pressure as well. Now we will talk about that novel meter. Okay, before novel meter, if why and where it is applicable, as I already told in your laboratory, that in the lab, that if you need the higher velocity at a particular point to enhance the mass transfer or any kind of diffusion, then only you are looking for nozzle kind of structure, because nozzle will enhance the mass transfer, because it will reduce the area. Due to the reduction in the area, what will happen? It will enhance the velocity of the flow by expense of any kind of head, like in the term of pressure head, because just if you are assuming as a constant. Now if you are looking for application part where you can apply and how you can use this kind of that nozzle meter, then it is little bit similar to Venturi. little bit similar to Venturi, because you are making a hole which have the nozzle type of structure. Nozzle means if the fluid is flowing from this position to this position, if you want to apply any kind of nozzle, it will be look like this one. Means this particular position is called as nozzle. How it works? Here you have to apply the manometer to determine the pressure. Here you have apply the manometer to determine the pressure. And change in the delta P or change in the height, it will give you the P, rho G delta H. Change in the height from this position to this position. Now you have got little bit idea about the Venturi and the orifice as well. In the orifice meter, as I already discussed that I have added one section also here. This part I have also added. In the case of Venturi, head loss is very low. Head loss is very low. Now you can see smooth, divergent and convergent section, very low. But in the case of orifice plate, the head loss is very high. As I already told, the loss in the pressure you cannot recover in the case of orifice. Means, what does that mean? If you will draw a plot, this is X versus P. In the case of Venturi, you will never recover this loss from this height to this height. This is for orifice. This is for orifice. But in the case of Venturi, if it is X means this position, you are flowing in this direction, X is a distance. Okay, how much it is related with respect to distance. Now the loss in the case of Venturi, it is very low, means loss from here to here, this particular difference, it is very low, that delta P, delta H or delta P, it is very low. But in the case of orifice, it is very high, that delta P is very high. Now you have extreme case, you have very good case, not extreme case, but it is good in very good extreme case. But you have to design a reactor which is in between that. So here comes the nozzle flow. It is half similarity of orifice plate and half similarity of the Venturi. If you will draw here the loss in the pressure, it will be in between of that. Means neither lower than this nor greater than this. It will be between this. Okay. So generally, if you are looking for the head loss, here it is written intermediate, means neither low nor high. So it is between in this. If in term of loss, if we're talking about capital cost, initial cost, it is also Venturi, as I already told, the capital cost is very high because you want to design smooth, divergent, convergent angle, and it require much more theoretical study. But in the case of orifice, the capital cost or initial cost is it is very low, and here the head loss is very high. And if you're talking about the flow nozzles, here the head loss, it is intermediate because it is between that, and here the capital cost which is between that. As I already told, now see the geometry. You have to make a curve shape which is look like this. This is, means you have to make a curve which is like this. If the fluid is flowing in this direction, you have to make like this. This particular position will show the little bit similar kind of design as a venturi, but not completely. And half design of orifice, because in the case of orifice plate, here will be the huge turbulence, or you can say here if the fluid flow like this, here will be the formation of vena contracta zone. This particular zone, vena contracta, we have already discussed in last class. But here you could not find any kind of structure, no vena contracta, only it is comes between both in case of head loss, in case of initial capital cost. Now this is all about designing part, but how it works and how it people generally use. Now let me read few points. When the flow nozzle is placed in a pipe carrying whose rate of the flow is to be measured, the flow nozzle causes a pressure drop which varies with the flow rate. The pressure drop is measured using the differential pressure sensor. Now you have a look. Differential pressure means it is the category of this head type element. In your unit 2 it is clearly written head flow meters. It is coming under the category of head flow meter. Okay. And when calibrated, this pressure become a measure of flow rate, means you can easily determine your velocity or the flow. If we're talking about the loss, as I already told in the case of venturi, that I think, I don't know, you have forget or not, I'm not very sure. Here I have mentioned that discharge coefficient in the case of venturi, I think I have written somewhere the discharge coefficient, it is near about so you see it is written varies from 0.98 to 0.96, but in the case of orifice it is lower than venturi. I think I have written this part also. Now you can see the discharge coefficient of the orifice is much smaller than the venturi, and so for this thing it will be in between that. Here we have written in term of loss, the frictional loss and the discharge coefficient for flow nozzle meter are between typical values of venturi and the orifice. Now see, it is between that as we are deriving or designing. So we are designing such kind of nozzle or such kind of pressure determining that equipment instrument which is in between orifice and venturi. So it is giving, to justify your design, it is giving the same in term of values also, means discharge coefficient will be in between that venturi and orifice, between that. Now how it works and how it look like, now have a look. Now there is some kind of flange, these are flange, you have to tight one segment which have the nozzle structure in your flowing field, and when the fluid will flow, it will show this kind of geometry. In the case of venturi, as I already told, in the case of in the case of orifice plate, if you will make any kind of orifice plate, this particular point, this particular zone, which will call as the recirculation zone, and you see here also you are getting so much recirculation zone, so much. So it is having the half characteristics of orifice plate and half characteristics of venturi. Venturi here only smooth fluid will flow, but it will create recirculation zone at this particular point. So if you want to determine your pressure head or the velocity head, what you will do, you have to make one hole, you have to determine here how much will be the change in the height in term of pressure, means P equal to rho gh. Then here also, for that, if you define here, because this circulation and recirculation zone create a lot of turbulence here. At that particular point, what will happen? It will create a lot of turbulence. This turbulence make the fluid so dynamic that it will show the little bit higher fluctuation as compared to this part. So it will make the difference if the fluid is flowing from this point up to here. At this point, definitely it will up to here. Then if you will subtract both points, you can easily determine how much will be the pressure, rho g delta h, the change in the height. This height from this height, from this height to this height, this will called as the delta h. Okay. Okay. Now you have got an idea that you can apply three kind of things. One is your orifice plate and venturi plate and your novels that your novel which is in between of orifice and venturi. It have the both characteristics, means little bit about the orifice and little bit about the venturi. Now if you are talking about the application of the flow nozzle, it is used to measure flow rate of the liquid discharge into the atmosphere. It is usually used in the situation where the suspended solid have the property of settling, means if you have any kind of suspension which have the solid particle, then only you can apply such kind of system. And in the case of venturi, if you have suspended solid, it is not good to use because your throat, that the throat means this particular position, it gets choked because it will be depend on your diameter, how much is the diameter. So better to use that novels is widely used for high pressure and temperature stream flow. This is the these are much more advantage as compared to orifice and venturi. If your particle size, if you are using any kind of solid particle, if this diameter is very low as compared to a solid particle, it gets choked. But in the case of novels, you can easily rearrange because it is connected with outer flange. You can easily change your diameter according to your choice, and you can modify according to your system. An advantage, installation is easy and is cheaper when compared to venturi. Now you can see it is very compact, has high coefficient of discharge as compared to orifice, because venturi, as I already told, it is near about 0.98, 0.96 like that discharge coefficient. But here the discharge coefficient little bit low but higher than orifice plate. Disadvantage, the pressure recovery is low. Of course, it will be. Maintenance is high, but it is lower than venturi meter. Installation is difficult when compared to orifice meter. Okay, this is the major disadvantage, because in the orifice you have to do nothing. You have to make one small hole and you have to apply in a flowing system, and you can easily determine how much will be the velocity and how much will be the pressure. Okay, so I will stop here for today's lecture. So up to this point we have finished in your if you check your curriculum, that flow measuring equipment, head flow meters, novel meter, orifice meter and venturi meter, and in the area flow meter, rotameter we have finished, and this part whole we have finished. And this your unit 1. If you have any query, please let me know. Don't hesitate to ask any question. And one more thing, that I see that you have got a good idea of solving the problems related to how you will apply rho GH formula in the U-tube manometer or multi-tube manometer. and that problem which I have given, that is related to YouTube manometer, and you have solved that problem very well. I think each and everyone got an idea. So from Monday onward, we will look into the pipe fitting and major and minor losses, and all kind of that theories that you have read in all the fundamental theories, because all thing is related to your these theories: Pascal's law, that the hydrostatic law, Bernoulli's theorem. And Bernoulli's theorem, I think you have got a lot of idea by solving the problems and in deriving all the derivation as well, like orifice, venturi, and continuity equation as well. Okay, na? So for today, up to here only. Okay.